Welcome to Roaming Norway. Today we are going to talk about the Renault 5 that I saw at eCar Expo 2025. I'm so excited for this small little hatchback, and there are so many things that I learned about this car that's not in the spec sheets, and I got to touch the materials inside, test the trunk, test the door thunk, test the infotainment, sit in the car, close all the doors and just feel the cockpit of the Renault 5. So I have a lot of thoughts on the Renault 5 from my experience at eCar Expo. In addition, we got Norwegian prices finally for the Renault 5. We already know the price in some European markets, and it's priced generally pretty aggressively. So in this video I'm going to go through what I learned at eCar Expo. I'm going to talk about the spec sheet, and we are going to learn a lot about the new Renault 5 that's coming to Norway very soon. It's already shipping in certain European markets, and yeah, it's a super fun little car and one of my favorite cars at the eCar Expo 2025. So let's start off with the cars at the Expo. The cars at Expo was, of course, a green one and a yellow one of the Renault 5. There were also a white one there, which were actually part of a kind of competition. They were nominated to be Car of the Year in Norway, and it was actually it actually won Car of the Year. So both the European journalists and the Norwegian journalist agree that this is Car of the Year 2025. I think it's a little bit stupid to not have the car in the market and do the proper testings before having Car of the Year, but at the same time I'm very happy that the Renault 5 won over all the other crossovers, because this is a small fun hatchback. So what is the Renault 5? What size of vehicle? Well, it's a small vehicle. Think Volvo EX30, think BMW i3, in that size category. It is a 5-seater, but you don't really want to sit in the middle behind. And it is a hatchback, so the whole manual, yes, manual only, trunk just moves up and you have some space in there. There is no frunk. So let's talk a little bit about the range. So the base spec model has 311 kilometers of VLTP range. And to compare that to, for example, the BMW i3, so the base Renault 5 has more range, more VLTP range than any BMW i3 ever made. So it's already better in that sense. The Volvo EX30 actually has a decent starting range, actually more than the Renault 5, I think. Anyways, the model that people will actually buy is the 411 kilometers range version, which is a significant range, especially here in Norway. You can go anywhere in Norway with 411 kilometers of range. Maybe you need some charging stops, then you have actually, with the large battery, 411 kilometers of range, you have 100 kilowatts of DC fast charging. That's maximum the BMW i3, and it's probably on par with the EX30 because it has some really bad charging down low. And yeah, we have to test it, of course. I won't say it's better yet, but I assume it'll be similar to the EX30 in charging performance. So the small battery is 40 kilowatt hours, the large battery is 52 kilowatt hours, and the starting price is 22,000 euros in Norway. That's an insane price. To put that into perspective, that's half the starting price of the BMW i3 when that was new. Almost half, which is insane to think about. So there has been a large development in cheaper electric cars from year to year. It's front-wheel drive. The small battery has 120 horsepower. The large battery has, wow, that's a Polestar 3. I'll talk about that in a later video. Anyways, wow, that's cool, that's cool. Oh, I love the Polestar 3, how it looks. Where was I? 52 kilowatt hours is the large battery, of course. And that's more expensive. Of course, you start to get into 25k euros, 30k euros, and you have the maximum spec in Norway. Still pretty cheap. There's a Mazda MX-30 here as well. Not really excited about that one. I'm at the supercharger, V2 supercharger, and there are a ton of people there. But I'm not sharing, so I'm very happy right now. So yeah, the Renault 5. And let's talk a little bit about the design, because that's the major thing about the Renault 5 here. It looks absolutely amazing for a small little hatchback. It's so nice that they just they had the guts to actually go out and release this design. They made it unique, they made it cool. It's so different from other Renault EVs. You have the Renault Zoe, which is the most boring car known to man, I would say. And you have like the Megane. They are fine cars, but they are larger SUVs. They are in a market where we have a ton of competition and a ton of different designs. It's difficult to differentiate your car. But here in the small hatchback segment, it's the best looking small hatchback. And I have no sentimental connection to the original Renault 5 or Renault 4. It's the same with the ID. Buzz. I don't care for the original van. I think the new ID. Buzz from Volkswagen looks way better. But I love that they took the old design, because that creates design constraints that you need to follow. And often it can spark creative decisions in the design when you have these constraints. That's why for example, if I go and film a video and I film with my camera, I can just bring a lens that's not really fit for purpose, but it creates a constraint where I need to be creative around the video to make it look good and nice, and often it looks much cooler than if you had all the proper equipment and no constraints. So it's the same idea with car design. Of course, this is my opinion. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Viewfinder running lights down low, headlights up. You have the awesome LED lights in the rear. There are quite a few specifications. You can customize these cars exactly how you want, which is cool, nice. They have so many cool colors, so many cool interiors. At the expo we were able to see the brown and blue interior, and also the yellow staple interior. Both looks gorgeous, especially for the price. They are no like leather material. It's more like it feels like wool actually. I don't think it's wool. I think it's some kind of recycled materials, but it feels great for the price. There are certain things about the car, like the door thunk and the trunk being manual, and it feels a little bit cheap, but you can't beat it for the price. It looks like an awesome little package. So let's talk a little bit about what I learned from talking at the people at the Renault stand. So allegedly the car has a heat pump. So we will of course test that. A heat pump doesn't mean much if it's not integrated well, but I heard rumors about heat scavenging from the motors. So they take, from the motor, the single motor in the front, that they take excess heat and put it into the thermal system again for efficiency, which sounds awesome. And heat pump is standard in Norway, at least. In other markets I know you have lower trims, but they are not available in Norway. All the trims have DC fast charging, for example, in Norway, 80 kilowatts and 100 kilowatts. In other markets, I know they come with only AC charging for the cheapest of the cheapest. But regardless, it just sounds too good to be true, honestly, for the price. So I can't wait to test that. It's a ground-up electric vehicle built on the Renault Nissan Ampere platform. I think it's called Ampere. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Same platform as the Renault 4, which I will talk about in another video, which was also unveiled. So, just to summarize, cheap electric car that seems to be well integrated, good infotainment from my testing, not class leading, not super fast, but it has Google all the things, so they don't need to write their own software and rely on stuff like that. So they have the Google system, which was snappy. The route planning worked nice when I tested a few locations. It seems one charge stop to Bergen with a large battery, by the way. That's a 7-hour trip. 30 minutes up. But so yeah, it sounds like the charging curve, I think they quote 15 to 80% in 30 minutes, which is a little bit high, I would say. I wish it was a little bit faster charging, and I wish it came with the LFP pack. I think it's NMC only. So yeah, just to summarize, it just looks amazing. It's a small hatchback. The rear seat room is not good, but the seating position in the front is... I was shocked when I sat in the car. I just felt so at home in the cockpit. They really designed this around the driver and the passenger, of course. No electric adjustable seats, but that's fine by me. I actually like manual adjusted seats, no problems with that. Yeah, just seems like an awesome package, but we need to actually drive it, charge it, take it on a long trip to test it, to make up the final decision for the Renault 5. Thank you so much for watching Roaming Norway. Talk to you in another video very, very soon.